Hello and welcome to Big Old Games unboxing video of the new Star Wars Armada expansion, the Rebel Transports. My name is Simon, I'll be doing the unboxing today. So this is the latest expansion for Armada, and these are the new flotillas. So both of these go on one base and they act as a small stand support ships, which is quite cool, a bit different. Now what I'm going to do is unbox this and show you what's inside, and rather than watching me cut this open, I'll push it to one side. I've got one here I opened earlier. So any of you who've played X-Wing before will recognise the Rebel Transport, the GR75. It's now making its debut in Armada as these flotillas, which I think are a really interesting design. So let's take a look through and see what we get in there. So you get this little pull-out sheet here. So it's a components list, shows you the different upgrade cards and stuff you get in there. Also explains the rules for the flotillas. So they follow the same rules as ships. The only exception being, if they overlap a bigger ship, only the flotilla takes damage, the big ship doesn't. They've also got the no dice armament, so dice which so armament which generate no dice on the attack, which means you can't actually attack with those arcs. And the new upgrade, which is the fleet support, which is where their main abilities and effects come in. So you get a small stand in there, comes with all the dial you need, and you've got everything you need in there for displaying them. And I am just going to get the stand out quickly, so when we come around to the models I can show you them, because they're quite small models. So if I just try and hold them up to the camera, well, they're going to disappear into my giant hand fist. So I'll just get that stand out ready for that. So I'll show you the components you get in here first, so the cards and the upgrades, etc. So as always, with Fancy Flight, plenty of tokens. Who doesn't love tokens? And some upgrade cards as well. So pop the cards down for one moment. I'll come back to those in a second. So there you go. There's your ship token for it. As you can see, the arcs are fairly focused on the broadside with narrow front and rear, but you're not going to worry too much because only the front and rear have an attack value. The broadsides don't have one at all. And again, same here with the two different versions. So this one doesn't even have attack values on it. So these really are support ships in here. They are not attacking vessels in any way. So we'll show you that with the two different cards. So the GR75 Medium Transport and the GR75 Combat Retrofit, although I feel like Combat Retrofit is a glorious term for it, a bit grandiose. So the difference being, this one is 18 points, this one is 24. The Medium Transport has a black anti-squadron die and no die or dice at all on its armament. The Combat Retrofit on the other side has a blue anti-squadron and a blue in the front and rear arc. However, its manoeuvrability is quite high, up to speed 3, and with the double yaw on the top movement. These are quite manoeuvrable little flotillas, I feel. And again, they have the same upgrades available to them. So I can see the cheaper 18.1 being used over the 6 points more for the Combat Retrofit, because you really don't need those attack dice on there. It shouldn't be anywhere near needing to use them. So in terms of the upgrade cards, we get a new General, new Admiral for your fleet, so General Kraken. While a friendly small or medium ship is defending against a ship, if the defender is at speed 3 or higher, the attack is treated as obstructed, so they lose a die. 26 points, I think that's quite a strong ability, especially if you're flying a very like a medium heavy list, because you're likely as a rebel player to be nipping around the board a huge amount anyway, so having that extra defensive bonus will just help keep you guys alive that little bit longer. I know Akbar is quite popular at the moment. I'm not sure how much Kraken will see use, but I can see him being popular. Torin Far, I believe we pronounced that right, is our first upgrade card. So while another friendly ship or squadron at distance 1 to 3 is attacking, it may reroll 1 blue die. So this is 7 points. Good for the actual flotillas themselves, I guess, as a support role, but you could jump it onto your big ship that's going to be in the thick of the melee and get that extra reroll. Bright Hope is the title for the flotilla, 2 points, and while defending against an attack that does not target your rear hull zone, before you suffer damage, reduce the total damage by 1. This will help keep them alive a little bit longer, especially when they only have 3 hull to begin with. So your opponent can't just cheekily nip through that 1 damage at a time. Quantum Storm is 1 point title. So when you do navigate, after you execute a maneuver, you may exhaust this card to execute a 1-speed maneuver with a yaw of nothing. So it's like a nippy little nitro burst for the flotilla. Jamming Field, so this is one of the fleet supports, 2 points. While a squadron at distance 1 to 2 is attacking or defending against a squadron, the attack is treated as obstructed, so they lose a die. Useful just for defending one of your squadrons. I suppose with the attacking as well, but yeah. Bomber Command Center, so 8 points for this one. While a friendly squadron with bomber at distance 1 to 5 is attacking a ship, it may re-roll 1 die. And for any of you who have ever run bomber lists, you'll know how irritating it is when you roll a blank black die. So this just helps mitigate some of that. Repair Crews, so this is a repair command, and instead of spending engineering points, you may discard 1 damage card from 1 friendly ship at distance 1 to 2. Very useful for 4 points. Keep it by your big hitter that you need to keep alive and just keep repairing it every turn. And Comms Net. After the reveal command dial step, you may remove 1 command token from the ship to assign a matching token to another friendly ship at distance 1 to 5, and this is a 2-point upgrade. And this will go well, I feel, with the repair crew. Both of those are quite useful for sort of like a cheerleading support for the flotilla. They sit behind the lines and just help out your actual big heavy hitters. So there we go, so that's all the upgrade cards. So let's take a look at the actual models themselves. Like I said at the start, I'm going to put these the right way around. I'm going to put these on the stand so I can show you them more easily. Now there we go, so the GR-75, the Rebel Transport, isn't exactly an exciting ship to look at. It's just a giant cargo hauler, so you've just got this big plating at the top, and then lots of big cargo boxes underneath. Now, unfortunately, they haven't painted any of them in. They're all just this monotone colour, which I think is a shame. That's a lost opportunity. They really should have painted at least a couple of them in, just to add a bit of colour to the ship. Because apart from the engine blues, which I'm always happy to see, there's nothing really to it. Definitely one you need to pick up and highlight with a few colours just to make them at least, yeah, look slightly appealing. Some of those cargo containers should be, you know, blues and reds and oranges and blacks and all sorts of fun colours. So, yeah, I mean, overall, it's still plenty of panel detail and bits like that, but I'm just disappointed at the lack of the colour variety on the ship. It makes it look very dull straight out of the packet. And to show you it compared to one of the squadrons, here it is compared to X-Wings. You can see the X-Wings look absolutely huge compared to it, or they look tiny, depending on how you want to see it. So this is going to be dwarfed by squadrons flying around it, but then the squadrons are oversized for Armada anyway, because if they were to scale, you practically wouldn't be able to see them. So, but yeah, it makes them look a bit silly compared to the squadrons, but it's not too bad. And then if we compare it to one of the bigger ships, so let's say the MC-30. So there we go. As you can see, it's quite long, but then again it was quite a long ship anyway, but it's quite big compared to it, but it makes it fit into that squadron role quite nicely. Not squadron, flotilla role quite nicely. It's not too big, and it looks like it is something that would be supporting your much bigger frontline ships. So, happy about that. So there we go. That is the models for the Rebel Transports. Like I said, the only bit is a bit disappointed that there's no colouring on the actual containers underneath. So there we go, that is everything you get in the Rebel Transport. So I really like the idea of these flotillas. I think they do need a little bit more support. I'm hoping future expansions, future waves will introduce a couple of new cards that they can utilise, because as it stands right now, they're a little lackluster for what you're paying for. You're adding a few an ability here and there, but it's nothing to shout about. It's not huge. But then again, maybe that's just the point of them. I think they're going to require a lot of testing to see how well they can fit within lists and how well you can use those points up on them, and if they're worth taking them for those points. So yeah, so there we go. That is the Rebel Transport. So remember, all the individual components you've seen here can be bought and sold on our website, bigorbitcards.co.uk. Remember to like and subscribe, check out my other videos. I've also been unboxing the rest of Armada Wave 3 and 4, so have a look at those, see what you think of those. Other than that, I hope you've enjoyed watching. If you have any thoughts or comments, feel free to leave them below. And otherwise, I will see you next time. Bye.